Welcome to the deep dive. In the constantly evolving landscape of Windows environments, staying informed on the latest updates isn't just helpful.
Oh, it's absolutely essential, right? Especially if you're managing these systems day in, day out.
Exactly. So today, we're taking a deep dive into the latest PortalFuse Weekly KB Update Report. We're focusing specifically on the Windows updates published July 1st, 2025.
And there's quite a bit here. 13 articles on the list.
Yep, 13. Our mission really is to distill the most critical info, the key improvements, and, the important considerations from all these.
Cut through the noise, basically. Get straight to what actually matters for operational awareness.
Precisely. So let's unpack this report. This week's PortalFuse update gives us quite a bit to digest for Windows environments. What's jumping out to you first as we consider these latest releases?
What's striking, I think, is the clear split in updates targeting different Windows 11 versions, and the really significant focus on AI components, particularly for the newer builds.
Yeah, you can definitely see that.
It signals some very specific strategic directions Microsoft is taking. It's more than just, incremental tweaks this time.
That strategic direction feels pretty clear right from the start. Okay, let's dive into the Windows 11 versions 22H2 and 23H2 first.
All right.
First up is KB5060826. It's a preview update for Enterprise and Education version 22H2 and actually all editions of version 23H2.
Okay.
Seems to bring a mix of new features and quality improvements. What stands out to you as most significant here?
Well, from a stability and sort of operational viewpoint, the critical bug fixes in KB5060826 are definitely high impact.
Like what specifically?
So it resolves that issue with excessive security event logs from auditing privilege use, the one that could lead to system drives just filling up completely.
Oh yeah, that's a classic pain point. Seen that happen before.
Right. It can save you days of headache, potential downtime, just preventing that sort of silent failure.
Absolutely.
And it also fixes an authentication issue. This was where domain-joined machines couldn't update account passwords on Windows Server 2025 domain controllers.
Okay, that's another big one for anyone managing Active Directory. A huge relief, I'd imagine.
Definitely.
So that audit log fix, clearly high impact for stability. Are there any, trade-offs or new considerations with a fix like that? Sometimes patches can introduce subtle new things.
That's always a fair question with patching. The report doesn't flag any new issues introduced by these specific fixes, which is good news.
Okay.
They seem pretty targeted, resolving known stability issues. What's also worth noting, though, on the feature side for KB5060826 is that significant change in the European Economic Area, the EEA.
Driven by regulations, right?
Exactly. This update allows additional file and link types to be set for new default browsers via the Set Default button. That's a high-impact change for users and admins in that region. Then there are some medium-impact additions, like the phased rollout of the PC-to-PC migration experience in the Windows Backup app.
For transferring files and settings during setup.
Right. And also visual previews when you share links or web content using the Windows Share window. Plus, admins can now configure critical updates during the out-of-box experience, the OOBE. That could help streamline initial deployments.
And on top of those, I see other noteworthy fixes mentioned. Things like addressing remote desktop protocol connection issues that needed a device restart.
Yeah, and workstation or server non-responsiveness when connecting to SMB shares. Those can be really disruptive.
Definitely. However, there's a persistent known issue flagged here. The Noto fonts issue.
Ah, yes, that one's still around. It can cause blurry or unclear CJK text. So Chinese, Japanese, Korean characters at 96 dpi.
And specifically in Chromium-based browsers like Edge and Chrome.
Right. It's due to pixel density affecting clarity and alignment. Microsoft is apparently collaborating with Google on it.
Good to know it's being worked on. And availability. This is an optional update via Windows Update.
Correct. Optional via Windows Update, also available through the Microsoft Update catalog. For WSUS, it needs a manual import.
But the changes will be in the next security update cycle for Windows Update for Business.
Yes, eventually rolled into the main security updates.
Okay. That Noto fonts issue, while maybe not critical for everyone, is definitely a nuisance for environments with multilingual users.
Absolutely. And staying on the topic of these foundational system improvements for 22H2 and 23H2, there's another critical update. KB506109.
This is the SafeOS dynamic update.
Exactly. Specifically enhancing the Windows recovery environment, WinRE. The key improvement here is high impact.
Yeah.
Just better overall functionality of WinRE.
Okay, reliability for recovery.
But what's absolutely critical to note, and they stress this, is that this update cannot be removed once applied to a Windows image.
Ah, that's a big one for image management, non-removable. It updates the WinRE version to 10.22621.5541.
Yep.
So if we can't remove that WinRE update, does this fundamentally change how quickly IT teams can deploy new images? I mean, needing more rigorous testing up front?
It absolutely does. I mean, this non-removable WinRE update really changes your gold imaging strategy.
Okay.
You can't just roll it back if something unexpected happens post-deployment and testing. It forces you into more meticulous testing, a really robust pre-deployment validation process.
So a shift from potentially reactive fixes to much more proactive image management.
Precisely. And complementing that, there's KB5062197. This is a setup dynamic update, again, for 22H2 and 23H2.
Okay, focused on setup binaries.
Right, enhancing the Windows setup binaries and files used during feature updates. The primary enhancement, high impact, is improving the efficiency and reliability of those setup components.
Which could mean smoother feature updates.
Hopefully. It also optimizes file use during setup, reducing potential errors. That's listed as medium impact, but still welcome.
Any known issues with this one?
None reported, which is good. And note the distribution, available through the Microsoft Update Catalog and WSUS, but not via Windows Update itself.
Okay, so important for anyone building custom images or managing deployments outside the standard Windows Update channel.
Exactly. Essential for those scenarios.
So, yeah, it really looks like a lot of attention on stability, core functionality, recovery, setup, really shoring up the foundations for these established Win 11 versions. Now, let's shift gears. Windows 11 version 24H2. This is where, as you said, things start to get particularly interesting. Significant user experience changes, deep AI integrations.
Yeah, this is where we see more of that strategic shift.
So, looking at the preview update, KB5060829 for 24H2, what's jumping out to you as most impactful here?
Well, when we talk about KB5060829, it's really not just incremental stuff. It feels like a more fundamental shift in how the OS interacts with users.
Especially with AI.
Especially with the tighter AI integration, yes. And this update also includes a servicing stack update, SSU KB5062862, which is always important for future updates.
Right, you got to have the latest SSU.
So feature-wise, the EEA region again sees further changes on app defaults. More file types can be set for default browsers via settings.
Okay, continued regulatory alignment there.
But what's really impactful for the user experience, I think, is the introduction of Click to Do preview. It has an Ask Microsoft 365 Copilot action for sending text or images.
Interesting. So deeper Copilot integration right there.
Exactly. And also, Narrator gets enhancements. There's a screen curtain feature for privacy.
How does that work?
It blacks out the screen while content is read aloud, improving focus and privacy, especially in public spaces. That's pretty significant for accessibility and security.
Yeah, that sounds useful.
And the PC-to-PC migration features within Windows Backup, they continue their rollout in this version too, still streamlining device transitions.
It's fascinating how Microsoft is really weaving AI directly into the OS fabric now. It's not just, bolt-on application anymore.
Absolutely. It's becoming core OS functionality.
Beyond those major UX changes, what about the more foundational bug fixes in this 24H2 preview update?
Yeah, it tackles practical issues too. Like it resolves a problem preventing the full removal of unused language packs.
Ah, finally. That can eat up unnecessary storage. Always a headache for IT.
Right. It also fixes issues with the automatic renewal of expiring windows. Hello for business certificates. That's crucial for keeping authentication smooth and secure.
Definitely.
And it addresses slow response times and typing issues within Windows Search. Little things that impact everyday productivity.
Good fixes.
Yeah.
And I see the Noto fonts issue is also mentioned here for 24H2.
Yes, unfortunately. That same issue with blurry CJK text in Chromium browsers is present here too. The workaround suggested is still increasing display scaling.
Okay, so still something to be aware of. And distribution is similar. Optional via Windows Update. Available in the catalog. WSUS needs manual import.
Correct. Same pattern as the 22H223H2 preview update.
Okay. Now this next cluster of updates, this really highlights that deep architectural work you mentioned. Optimizing AI performance for different hardware. It's not just a blanket AI update. It feels meticulously tailored. We're talking about a whole series of KBs here.
Yeah, quite a few.
Like KB5063130 for Qualcomm, KB5063131 for Intel, KB5063132 for AMD, all for Windows 11 version 24H2.
Right. all focused on the image processing AI component.
Improving tasks like scaling information, extracting foreground and background from images. It's fascinating how specific these component optimizations are getting.
And a key observation here really is how Microsoft is doing this. They're leveraging hardware-specific neural processing units, NPUs, for these AI features.
So for administrators.
For administrators, yeah. This means your hardware inventory and your update deployment strategies have to account for these processor-dependent updates. If you want to maximize the performance of Copilot PCs in your environment, you need the right updates for the right silicon.
It really underscores the importance of staying current, not just with the OS build, but also firmware and these very specific component updates.
Absolutely. For optimal performance, yes. And this focus continues with the PhiSilica AI component enhancements.
Okay, what's PhiSilica?
This component focuses on transformer-based local language model capabilities. Think things like on-device summarization or translation, optimized for systems with NPUs.
Got it. And similar hardware-specific KBs.
Exactly. KB 5063134 for Intel, KB 5063135 for AMD, and KB 5063225 for Qualcomm systems, all optimizing this local language model for better efficiency and performance on Copilot PCs.
And these are flagged as high-impact updates.
Yes, they're vital for the core AI functionalities these new machines promise.
And it doesn't stop there either. There's KB 5063136, focusing on the image transform AI component.
Right. This one applies to all 24H2 editions, but specifically targets Copilot PCs.
And its job.
It significantly improves the component's ability to erase foreground objects and generate background fills, basically enhancing overall image processing quality. Think advanced photo editing features built in.
Wow, it really demonstrates a full-stack approach to AI integration, from hardware up through specific OS components.
It really does. What's also notable is that all these AI-specific updates require the latest cumulative update for Windows 11 version 24H2 as a prerequisite.
Okay, that makes sense.
And importantly, for deployment, they are automatically downloaded and installed via Windows Update.
So less manual intervention needed for these specific AI component updates, assuming the prerequisite CU is there.
Correct. They should just flow through Windows Update on eligible machines.
Okay. Now let's look at a couple of multi-OS updates. These seem to bring consistent improvements across both client and server.
Yeah, bridging the gap a bit.
Okay.
First is KB 5060843. It's a Safe OS dynamic update like the one we saw earlier, but this one is for both Windows 11 version 24H2 and Windows Server 2025.
Okay. WinRE again?
Yep. Its core improvement, high impact, is enhancing the overall functionality and reliability of the Windows recovery environment. Better system recovery across both client and server.
And I assume non-removable again?
You guessed it. Same caveat. Cannot be removed once applied to a Windows image. This one updates WinRE to version 10.0.26100.4475.
It's practical, I guess, seeing these cross-platform updates for core components like WinRE and setup binaries. It offers a consistency that could potentially streamline management for mixed environments.
It can, yeah. And speaking of setup binaries, that brings us to KB 5062233. Another dynamic update, also for both Windows 11 24H2 and Windows Server 2025.
Enhancing setup binaries and files for feature updates on both platforms.
Exactly. The major improvement, high impact, is boosting the efficiency and reliability of those setup binaries for feature updates.
Okay.
It also optimizes files used by setup processes, aiming for smoother transitions during feature updates. That's flagged as medium impact.
Any known issues reported for this one?
Nope. None reported. And like the other setup-focused updates, it's available through the Microsoft Update Catalog and WSUS, but again, not via Windows Update directly.
Right. So that consistency you mentioned, it seems like a bit of a double-edged sword, maybe.
It definitely can be. While having a shared code base for fundamental things like WinRE and setup simplifies some aspects of planning for server and client deployments.
The non-removable nature of that WinRE update across both client and server images.
Exactly. It necessitates extreme precision, really careful consideration for your gold image management. It means your validation process needs to be absolutely impeccable before you roll anything out widely.
That's a really critical point for any administrator building and maintaining images across both client and server.
For sure.
Okay, so as we bring this deep dive to a close, let's quickly wrap up the main themes, the main issues addressed across all these KB articles from the PortalFuse report.
Sounds good.
We definitely saw significant quality of life improvements and critical bug fixes delivered for Windows 11 22H2 and 23H2.
Like the fixes for those excessive audit logs, the authentication issues with Server 2025 DCs, and addressing those nagging RDP connection problems. Real operational wins there.
Definitely. Then for Windows 11 24H2, we saw new user experience features rolling out. Deeper Copilot integration like Click to Do.
Right. The Narrator enhancements like Screen Curtain for privacy and the PC migration features continuing their rollout, more user-facing changes.
And a major takeaway has to be that strong emphasis on specialized AI component optimizations for 24H2 on Copilot Plus PCs.
Yeah, really tailored to different processor architectures, Qualcomm, Intel, AMD for core tasks like image processing and those local language models, very hardware focused.
And finally, we covered those crucial shared enhancements delivered to the Windows recovery environment and the setup binaries, impacting both Windows 11 24H2 and Windows Server 2025.
That cross-platform consistency with its benefits and challenges.
Exactly.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? As we observe these really granular updates, especially the deep-seated AI component enhancements and those consistent improvements across client and server recovery environments, well, it paints a pretty clear picture. The future of Windows administration increasingly involves a deeper understanding of hardware-software co-optimization and the evolving role of AI features that are directly integrated right into the operating system itself. So the question to ponder is, how will these continued specialized updates shape your long-term strategies for system deployment, management, and troubleshooting within your own environment?